You're listening to the Sharkbone Podcast, a feeding frenzy of RPG ideas. Sharkbone. Welcome to the Sharkbone Podcast. This is episode number 332, which is the second episode in my Alien Gifts solo actual play of the Cypher System. I had a lot of fun doing the first one, and I've got another night where I want to get some gaming in, so I'm going to give this another shot and have some fun doing it. Hopefully you enjoy listening, and let's get on with the story. Alright, so first off, I need to figure out what is going on with this scene. So I'm going to draw a Game Master's Apprentice card and see what kind of inspiration I get from it. Let's see, Mournful Howling, I like that. That'll be interesting. The van's door slammed with a rattling thud. Vincent walked around the vehicle, his feet scuffing on the sand covering the parking lot from the nearby volleyball pit. He pulled the door open with a squeak and reached in to help Eamon out. He helped Eamon over to a park bench, and his mentor sat down with a groan, one hand holding his ribs while the other rested on the bench. Vincent sat next to him. They sat in exhausted silence for barely a minute before Vincent spoke. So, what happened? Why did they grab you? How did they grab you? Now, I don't know why they grabbed him or how they grabbed him. That's the fun of solo RPGs. I don't have an answer, so let's see if he knows. So there are probably good odds that he knows why they grabbed him, so I'm going to grab a Game Master's Apprentice card and see what good odds tell me whether he knows or not. Yes, he knows. So, let's take a look at this card and figure out why they might have done it. Ooh, the vice on this card says fraud. I think that sounds fun, like maybe he had been committing some kind of fraud. Eamon sighed and shook his head. I shouldn't tell you, he said softly. He paused for several seconds before sucking in a breath and speaking. I haven't been completely honest with you, Vincent, he said. You didn't come to me by accident, and it's no coincidence that I've been able to help you master your powers. Vincent sat in mild shock, his emotions sloshing back and forth inside him, between disbelief and anger. But why should he be angry? Eamon had helped him. He helped him control his strength and forge the sky sword from the meteor fragment that had given him his abilities. As he considered his emotions, a mournful howl sounded in the distance. He absent-mindedly looked off in the distance in the direction of the howl before turning back to Eamon. So what are you saying? You knew something about my powers before? Did you know something about the meteor? Now, I have an idea that maybe Eamon gave him his powers, but I don't know if that's actually what happened or not. So, I'm going to draw another card here. I think it's even odds that Eamon is the one who gave Vincent his powers. So we'll see what the card says. If he's not, then maybe he's part of some secret society that knows about those aliens and has sworn to destroy them. That would be interesting. So let's draw the card and see what it says. Even odds, yes! So he is the one that gave Vincent his powers. Eamon shook his head with another sigh. No, Vincent, I am the one who gave you your powers. I sent the meteor to Earth. Not to you specifically, but I was looking to make a champion. Vincent's head swam as he put two and two together. Despite the vertigo, he stood from the bench, steadying himself with one hand on the back of it. So, you're an alien? Before he could answer, another howl sounded, closer this time. Eamon turned his head and looked in the direction of the howl. Perhaps we should leave, he said. And now I am going to make a roll to see if I can get him in the van before whatever is out there gets to us. So that's going to be a speed roll. Let's see, I need to figure out what the difficulty will probably be. Probably just a 3, which means I need to hit a 9 on the die. I don't believe I have any speed skills. I have running. Yeah, I'll apply that. That kind of makes sense. I'm hurrying. So that reduces the difficulty to 2. I need to hit a 6 on my die. Let's see what I get. I got a 12, so I succeed. Vincent nodded to Eamon and stepped up to his mentor, picking him up and rushing him over to the van. The door squeaked and rattled as he closed it behind Eamon. He hurried around the van and hopped into the driver's seat just as a shape burst from the trees on the other side of the volleyball pit. The shape crouched on 4 legs and a gurgling, scratchy growl issued from it. As he started the van, Vincent stared at the shape with wide eyes, crying, "What the heck is that?" Now, I don't know what it is. I know what it looks like in my head. It's kind of like a giant, jagged wolf thingy that gurgles and growls. And I have an idea that maybe this thing is some kind of opposing alien. And that's why Vincent needs to be a champion to fight this war between the aliens that spilled over here on Earth. So I'm going to draw a card and see if that is what it is. If it's not that, then it's probably going to be some wolf that's actually been warped and mutated by some kind of dark cultist. So let's see which one it is. Even odds is yes. So it is some kind of rival alien, and this alien war has spilled over onto planet Earth. That doesn't bode well. Eamon gasped in fear. "It's a Corthun hunter!" he cried. He reached out with one hand to the dashboard to steady himself as Vincent gunned the engine and the van lurched backwards. "Get us out of here! You can't fight it!" "You don't have to tell me twice," Vincent responded as he slammed on the brakes and threw the van into drive and pushed the gas pedal to the floor. The tires slipped and spun in the sand and the vehicle bucked forward. Giving another howl, the Corthun hunter leapt after them. Alright, now I gotta see if I can outrun this thing. So first I gotta try and figure out what kind of stats this thing has. I think it's probably pretty frightening, so I'm gonna make it a level 5 monster, which means it also has 15 health. It's going to have tentacles because I think after that big tentacle monster, all of these other aliens need to have tentacles. And then this one's also going to have some kind of bite attack to it. So that's pretty much all I need for the monster to know if I can beat it. So I'm going to go ahead and give myself a speed roll to get the heck out of here. So I already said it's difficulty 5, so I've got to meet the 15. I don't believe I have any driving skills. I certainly don't. I don't have any assets or anything, so let's give this die a roll and see what I get. You know what, I will spend effort on it, though. That seems like a good idea. So that's going to cost me 2 speed points, dropping my pool down to 10. And here's the die! 16! Yes! The engine roared and tires squealed as Vincent recklessly drove to the park's exit and out onto the street. He saw the dark shape of the Corthun hunter in his rearview mirrors as he made the turn and pushed down even harder on the pedal and leaned forward, trying to coax all the power he could from the vehicle. He made a sudden turn onto another street and the dark shape behind the vehicle scrabbled on the road as it tried to match the maneuver and slammed into a light pole. Vincent kept the pedal to the metal as the Corthun hunter began to lose ground. Its shape got smaller and smaller in Vincent's mirrors as he kept accelerating down the road. Soon, he looked over to Eamon. "I think we lost it," he said over the roar of the engine. Eamon shook his head. "Just for now. It has our scent, obviously. It won't give up on the chase until it has found and killed us." Vincent groaned, leaning back in his seat, letting up on the pedal just a little bit as they roared down the road. "Great. So sooner or later we're gonna have to fight that thing." Eamon groaned a little and rubbed his ribs again. "Not we. You." And I think that's where we're gonna call it. I tried something a little different with this one. I actually wrote down the in-character or in-world parts and then record them. I think it worked out pretty well. I thought it was fun. So let me know if you all liked it, and if there's something else you'd like to see or see me do differently with these, or if you're not interested at all, that's fine too. So thanks for listening, and you can find me on Twitter at @shark_bone. If you have any comments or questions, send me an email at sharkbonecast@gmail.com. Otherwise, just join the frenzy. I will talk to you next time.